Left.
Right.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The headline in the news is Chicago television.
Members of every branch of the industry are gathered tonight in the Sheraton Hotel.
All the big names and bigwigs from all Chicago stations, plus guest stars, Dave Garroway and Jack Benny.
And many civic dignitaries, such as our guest of honor, Mayor Richard Daley, are cooperating in tonight's special Chicago Academy of Television Arts and Sciences program.
The Academy is a recently founded association of all workers in Chicago television designed to foster creative leadership in local as well as national programming.
Academy members, talent, technicians, and executives are uniting in a combined effort to maintain Chicago's leading position in American television.
And so tonight, in a star-studded parade of talent, all of Chicago television presents the first Chicago Academy Show.
The first show of the Chicago Academy of Television Arts and Sciences, starring Jack Benny and Dave Garroway, Chicago's most fabulous quartet, Barbara Becker, Pat Clark, Mike Douglas, and Len Dressler. The weathermen P.J. Hoff and Clint Ewell, who report the weather, and Bob Bell, who annihilates it. The world's greatest collection of babysitters. Bridget Bansman, Mary Hartline, Frances Horwich, Rosemary Rapp, Terry Bennett, and Commander Five and Stubby. Sportscasters Jack Brickhouse, John Harrington, and Joe Wilson. Now here's our master of ceremonies, a Chicagoan for tonight, Ed Sullivan.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and hi, Chicago. You know, as our cameras scan that, the Sheraton Ballroom, I was thinking to myself what an amazing night this is in the history of TV, because it was just 6 months ago that the Chicago chapter of the Academy of TV Arts and Sciences was formed. In the Sheraton Ballroom tonight, I know you saw your Mayor Richard Daley there. And you know, in addition to Mayor Daley, is jammed with the cream of Chicago television, the heads of stations, the heads of agencies, the heads of production. This tremendous group of people assembled. You may be asking yourself what the Chicago chapter means. Well, I think the President Herb Kupsnick could tell you all about that. But briefly, it means this. Now that there is a National Academy of TV Arts and Sciences, it means that Chicago, which has been the home and the incubator of so many great stars, will have a very big voice in all of the decisions that are made nationally. Now we're going to kick off this affair tonight with a singing quartet. And these are real terrific singers, and reading from left to right and singing left-right, of course, Len Dressler, Barbara Becker, Pat Clark, and Mike Douglas. So the evening gets underway right now with them. Francis.
High-lee, high-low, high-lup, lup, lup, high-lee, high-low, high-left. High-lee, high-low, high-lup, lup, lup, high-lee, high-low, high-left. Oh, I was left, right, out of your arms. Oh, I was left, right, out of your charms. My heart said eyes, right from the start. Now I am left, right, out of your heart.
Oh, you were such a cute Marine, I really was impressed.
Who said of all the guys you knew that you liked me the best?
I gave you all my kisses, surrendered all my charms. But time revealed
I played the feeling, darling. I was left,
right, out of your arms. Oh, I was left, right, out of your charms. My heart said eyes, right from the start. Now I am left, right, out of your heart. Oh, you lift me up when you got back to town.
But when I hit the
city, all you did was let me down.
I caught you with another redhead, and baby, though you said
I'm only warming up for you.
I figured I was left right out of your arms, so I was left right out of your charms. My heart said I was right from the start. Now I am left right out of your heart. You called me on the telephone and said,
Now, Susie, dear, you're being mighty silly in believing all you hear.
Oh, sure.
You know I love you only, so Susie, save your breath.
But since my name is Cindy Lou, I figured I was left right out of your arms, so I was left right out of your charms. My heart said I was right from the start. Now I am left right out of your heart. Hi-lee, hi-lo, hi-lup, lup, lup, hi-lee, hi-lo, hi-left. Hi-lee, hi-lo, hi-lup, lup, lup, hi-lee, hi-lo, hi-left. Hi-lee, hi-lo, hi-lup, lup, lup, hi-lee, hi-lo, hi-left. Hi-lee, hi-lo, hi-lup, lup, lup, hi-lee, hi-lo, hi-left.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to cut off applause, but we do want to get this all in for you tonight. I was out in Las Vegas just recently, and there one day I was playing golf with Jack Benny and Bing Crosby. Crosby's a terrific golfer. Jack Benny doesn't play golf too well because, well, you know, with him it's 10 cents a 100. That's Jack's game. But he was talking about coming on for this affair in Chicago. He wanted to be represented at this first Chicago chapter dinner. And he is here. Now, Jack Benny, you know, he pretends that he's stingy and he's not. Pretends he's 39, he's not. Pretends he's a violinist, well, what can you do? Ladies and gentlemen, here is one of the first gentlemen of show business, Jack Benny.
Thank you, Ed. Thank you, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I want to say I'm very flattered that you asked me to speak at your dinner for the Chicago chapter of the Academy of Television Arts and Sciences. I think your wonderful town of Chicago is to be congratulated on your great contributions to television. I mean, any town that can produce such lovable characters as Marty Fay and Jack Eigen and Tom Duggan can't be all bad. As a matter of fact, I'm very fond of Chicago myself. See, I've always said it's one of Waukegan's nicest suburbs. Now, for you people who aren't familiar with Waukegan, I have some facts here that I'd like to read to you. I really don't need these glasses, you know. I just wear them to keep my contact lenses from falling out. Oh. No. Now, for some interesting facts here, the distance from Chicago to Waukegan is 36 miles by car, 28 by plane, or 22 by hot rod. Those are the figures here. I don't try to explain them. Now, Waukegan was perhaps most famous for being an Indian trading post. This is an historical fact that everyone knows, but I know when I grew up and was old enough to start trading with the Indians moved out. But getting back to Chicago, I would like to pay tribute to this lovely town where I first got started in show business quite a number of years ago. I don't remember exactly how long ago it was, but I do know that at the time, the biggest thing in Chicago was a lady named Mrs. O'Leary who had a trained cow act. I often wonder what happened to them. Well, good night, everybody, and thanks.
You know, the thing that absolutely startles an out-of-towner when he comes to a city like yours, particularly for an affair like this, you see in the course of 6 months, this tremendous banquet that's overflowed the boundaries of the Sheraton Ballroom, with 300 turned away, you're just amazed, first, at the activity of a town, the energy and enthusiasm, and you're struck, too, out here by the fact that you have performers here from all stations, all networks. In New York, we just couldn't come up with anything like that. But I think it's a wonderful tribute to the television industry here. I think it's a wonderful tribute to Irv Kupsnet and the officers of this new Chicago chapter. And now, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, the famous Today star. Here's another noted Chicagoan. Got to start here. NBC's Dave Garroway.
Well, how do you do? Good to see you. Since the old days in Chicago, when I was doing a show called Garroway at Large, which you may remember, we've come, if not a long way, at least some way in television. We've learned a great deal about building better television shows, I think. For example, we can now put the wide, wide world into your living room, if the sponsor wants us to, almost any day or night of the week. We think the viewer will be more interested in the new kinds of shows coming up than they were in the old, because it wasn't one station or one network or one particular type of television worker who developed modern television techniques. It was really a team action of people working as a unit. The performers, the production people, the technicians, and definitely the executives of the networks and of the local stations developed modern television as a unit, as a team. We've all learned, that is, from each other in the past, and I think we will in the future. Your meeting tonight is proof that you intend to get together and learn more and better techniques, and that's all to the good, I think. People spark ideas off each other like flint off steel. Brainstorming is a good word for it, too. When the Chicago school was proving that it didn't necessarily require $5 million to have a budget for a show, half hour once a week for 39 weeks, television was a pretty young and exciting business. And now with an active Academy chapter in Chicago, I think it can be equally exciting or more so for each of you there, and for the people in the business, and for the audience itself. And I wish you the very best of luck. And thank you and peace.
You know, I'm quite sure that you'll all agree with me that Dave Garroway was really relaxed long before Perry Como. And I suppose it's the first time since Dave Garroway worked out here on Channel 5 and worked a nighttime show that anybody has seen him up this late at night. Dave, it was wonderful to have you here with us. Now, ladies and gentlemen, our family comes from County Cork. So you can imagine the deep pleasure of an Irishman from County Cork about to introduce Chicago's most famous Irishman from County Limerick. So for Chicago's famed son of County Limerick, the Academy here in Chicago has come up with a Limerick introduction. And here it is. My next intro, I make gaily, presenting your fine Mayor Daley. He can get very mean if Chicago's not clean. Faith, he might even use a shillelagh. Ladies and gentlemen, His Honor, Mayor Richard E. Daley, and really, let's hear him.
Thank you very much, Ed Sullivan, Irv Kupsnet. Friends, this is a great night for Chicago when we are recognizing the formation of the Chicago chapter, the National Academy of Television, Arts, and Sciences. Surely Chicago is proud of the great television stars, the ownerships of the great stations, as well as the writers and artists, technicians who participate. Chicago is also moving ahead in the great progress of a city, as well as the great skyways, expressways, Calumet Skyway, Congress Street, moving the traffic in and about the city of Chicago. We're also preparing for the great advent in 1959 of the opening of the St. Lawrence Seaway, and today we dedicated berths and wharfs at the Navy Pier in order that Chicago have the necessary preparation in 1959. Likewise, we are moving ahead in all fields of making Chicago a better city in which to live, in which to work, and in which to worship. More parks, playgrounds, schools, and beaches in order that we may march along with this great Chicago chapter in the future of a great city. We congratulate all who have participated, and we say the people of Chicago are marching ahead tonight with this historic event, the Chicago chapter of this great organization foretells the future of our industry in a great city. Congratulations to all. Chicago thanks you, honors you tonight in this first of a great first in Chicago's memorable history.
You know, Mayor Daley is so correct in saying that this foretells something very unusual in Chicago's TV future. I was discussing it tonight with Frank Atlas before the show. There is no reason that network TV can't originate from Chicago. And we've discussed it in the National Academy, and you're going to find that even if Chicago doesn't originate shows immediately, the big shows will be originating out of Chicago. I know that we're planning to bring our show out here. I know Arthur Godfrey and other performers are going to bring their show out here. So all in all, this does foretell a very brilliant future. And actually, Chicago rates it because from the time I first came to Chicago, the days of Ben Burney and all the great bands, the days of Ruth Etting, Chicago always has been the home of great performers. Now, in television, from the pioneer days, 1948 days of TV, Cook, LaFran, and Ollie dominated the field and set the pattern for kid shows. And Chicago still is #1 in their format of children's shows. So tonight, while in imagination the bells of Ding Dong School are ringing out the September summons, here are a group of babysitters doing a vocal analysis themselves. Frances Horwich, Mary Hartline, Commander Five and Little Stubby, Rosemary Rapp, Bridget Braslin, Terry Bennett. Frances.
My name is Princess Mary. My home's a lovely castle. With Wendy there and Cousin Crow, my goodness, what a hassle. I have a talking elm tree. He's smart as he can be. I sometimes think that he's too smart. It talks right back to me.
We're Commander Five.
And Stubby.
We're from a satellite.
We zoom in space and every place to see that things are right.
We solve all solar problems from the planets to the stars. Except there's one thing you can bet on.
I'll never be Miss Mars.
Rosemary Rapp is my name. I also have a show where children laugh and sing and dance and bounce balls to and fro. We paint such pretty pictures. I'm glad that I'm a part. The reason I'm so happy is I'm just a kid at heart.
You know me as Miss Frances. I'm on TV and say, I sometimes wonder how I do it. 12 hours a day. The only thing that helps me to cast this magic spell when I'm in doubt is I'm saved by this old bell.
I am the good blue fairy. The blue forest is my home. The children come and visit me, some all the way from Nome. I'm very happy in flying, and I have it all figured out. The way I plan it now, I fly now and play later.
We live in Jabberwocky.
It's just a little town.
The sidewalks there all point up.
And the windows upside down.
It's run by a gang of smart men.
And all they do is talkie.
But if they're so smart, we'd like to know
why they still live in Jabberwocky.
You've heard our little stories. We're glad that we met you. And now we tell you say bye-bye, but what else can we do? Keep watching us each weekday. Now there's a wise decision. 'cause we feel boys and girls your best friend, television.
They are just wonderful. You know, that's a wonderful field, too, children's shows. Think back when Cook, LaFran, and Ollie started, 1948. Youngsters who were then 5 years old or 13 years old now, so you get a continually replenished audience. You know, Mark Twain once said, everybody talks about the weather, but nobody ever does anything about it. Well, Chicago has two fellows who talk about the weather and actually do something about it. We find P.J., P for Pluvius Hoff, and Clint Rainy Christmas Yule taking post-grad work with Professor Bob Bell on the soggy campus of Umbrella University.
Good evening, pupils. Well, welcome to Professor Bell's Weather School, where we can teach anyone to be a weatherman on television, and I'm very happy that so many of you showed up tonight for our little lecture. Well, now, let me see. Now, everybody's here. Glad all you boys and girls stay seated now. We'll take the roll call. Oh, confound it anyway. Let's see now. P.J. Hoff, is he here?
Here.
And Clint Yule.
Here.
That's your boy. Now speak right up and we'll get moving right along with our little weather story tonight. Anyway, we'd like to illustrate the causes of rain tonight. And first of all, you'll see the words up here on the board. The first, pressure. Now, the warm air coming from the south converges with the cool air, thus causing the warm air to go up. But on the other hand, the warm air releases its moisture, and it has a tendency to condense and then goes down. And now for this word temperature. Very important. With the increasing weight of the cooling air, the temperature of the cool air rises, thus making it go up. But this is not always the way it works, for in the case of a thunderstorm, the vacuum in the center converges. It converges and makes the air go down. Now, our next subject is the barometer, of which you've heard much before. Now, with the pressure moving in from the northwest, carrying with it the cooler air, it always causes the barometer to go up. And then, as an area of low pressure comes out of the southwest, as it usually does at this time of the year, it causes the barometer to go down. Now, you see, now look at this word here, subsidence. Now, that's a very important word to all meteorologists, for it causes the air, through heating and cooling, to go up and down and up and down and heat and cool and hot and cold and up and down and up and down and up and down. You understand that? Now, the last word in our little list tonight is convergence. Now, this means a very powerful force. And it's something so powerful that in the case of, well, even a cloud bank, it even rises and goes right through the ceiling. And on occasions, it's been known to even repeat this phenomena and go up even higher through another ceiling.
Did he graduate?
Top of the class.
Oh, the weather forecast. Can you imagine those poor fellows going home night after night and explaining to their harried wives why the prediction didn't come out exactly? But I think after this collegiate course here, there'll be a vast improvement all along the line. You know, back to the reason I'm going to say this is I'm about to introduce some sports personalities here. I'm reminded back in 1923, when I was writing sports on the old New York Evening Mail, Chicago's famous Warren Brown was our sports editor. So I do feel that I am right in my own backyard in introducing three top national sportscasters to you. Jack Brickhouse, John Harrington, and Whispering Joe Wilson.
after the game is over, what do announcers do? We like to get together and have a belt or two. We're Harrington Brickhouse and we yell Sam. Sports is our claim to fame. We always oil up our tonsils after the game. Football is what I cover. I call the tricky plays. I'm always out there talking, dishing out words of praise. But smart as I am, I'm puzzled. The answer I wish you'd send. How can a hulking big halfback run round his own end?
Good night, Maury Mages, wherever you are.
Baseball is my best subject. I call it play-by-play. I'm always fair and honest, bubbling light and gay. But one thing I'd like to know, please, while we all drink this foam, how can a married man do it? Do what? Steal home.
Let me set this alley up for you, Joe.
Bowling is what I broadcast. I whisper these strikes and spares. It's so romantic watching a game's always played by pairs. My job makes me very happy. I'll tell you one and all. All right, where else can you always keep working and still have
We always oil up our tonsils after the game.
Oh, never sell those sportsmen short. Really fine, fellows. You know, I don't think that I was too surprised when Irv Kupsnet was named president, or elected president, of the Chicago chapter of the Academy of TV Arts and Sciences, because it's essentially a quarterbacking job, and Irv, in his own football career at North Dakota and Northwestern, was a quarterback and a darn good one. But I want to tell Irv, and I know the whole city echoes this thought, that I think he deserves the most tremendous appreciation of his own city here, the city of Chicago, for the wonderful job of organizing. His own personality swept people into the organization who at first hesitated to come in. Ladies and gentlemen, here is a most unusual young man. Irv Kupsnet, your president. So let's have a tremendous hand for him, won't you? Thank you.
Thank you, Ed Sullivan, and as a member of the Mutual Admiration Society, I'd like to point out on this show and to our assembly here that Ed Sullivan was the inspiration for the Chicago chapter. He not only met with Frankie Atlas and myself on a number of occasions, but he actually came to our first meeting, an organizational meeting, only 5 months ago. And now he is back here again to MC this first show and to see the results of this meteoric rise. We have a membership of close to 500. We have turned away more than 300 people tonight at this banquet hall, which is attended by more than 900 people. We have a tremendous spirit and a growing enthusiasm, and anybody who thinks television is dead in Chicago has only to be here tonight to see these magnificent results. The spirit of cooperation is everywhere.
Where else could you get Jack Brickhouse and Whispering Joe Wilson and John Harrington to do what they just did on television? And where but in Chicago could we get all 4 stations plus our educational channel to cooperate in a joint civic effort as they are doing tonight and will continue to do throughout our career, we hope. Getting all channels to cooperate is like getting Eddie and Debbie to go out on a blind date with Liz. It wasn't easy to do. I'd like you to meet the heads of the various channels in Chicago right now, and I'd like the camera to pan over first over here and meet Mr. Ward Quall, the head of WGN and WGN-TV. And next, a newcomer to Chicago, but one we certainly are delighted to welcome, and this is certainly the occasion to do so, Mr. Lloyd Yoder, the new vice president in charge of NBC here, WMAQ and WNBQ. Now the gentleman who has been one of the pioneers of this industry, and certainly a man to whom we're beholden tonight, because his facilities, for the most part, are carrying the show, as long as some pickups here by WGN-TV. I want you to meet Mr. Les Atlas of CBS. I also would like to take just a moment to introduce the very glamorous dinner chairman of the affair tonight, Miss Pat Vance. Pat, will you stand up? The head of ABC Channel 7, Mr. Red Sterling Quinlan. And then the head of our WTTW, the educational channel, Dr. John Taylor. It is the spirit and the intention of the Academy to improve local television by giving awards, by holding seminars and forums, by doing everything we can to improve standards and techniques, and also to take our rightful place on the network scene and to have a voice in the national elections and the awards of the Emmy. With that, I turn it back to our friend and MC, Mr. Ed Sullivan.
Ladies and gentlemen, when I get on the plane leaving Chicago tonight for New York, I'm going to carry with me so very many pleasant memories of this affair in this year's city. You know, there's one person I've failed to acknowledge his contributions to the show. It's Frank Smith, our maestro, and Frank Smith is he's most unique because he's got more hair than Ray Bloch. Well, congratulations, Frank, on a wonderfully fine job. And now, with your help, see, I'm trying to get on your good side here because we're now going to sing a choral number, and I need a lot of background help, Frank. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to sing a song, which you all know. And then in the second chorus, I will step forward smilingly. And at that point, I'm going to ask Mayor Daley and everybody to join in on the second chorus of this. Are you all ready, girls and boys?
We're ready. Right.
Francis?
That great street, I just want to say.
The Wrigley Company is happy to have donated this time for this program honoring Chicago's Academy of Television Arts and Sciences and bringing you a glimpse into the future of a greater Chicago. This is Bruce Roberts thanking you for joining us on behalf of the Chicago chapter of the Academy of Television Arts and Sciences and all the men and women who make up the Chicago television industry.